So I am sitting here with the man that I like to call the masterclass for artists. I mean, you are a Swiss Army knife when it comes to how artists can blend what we did back in the 90s, which was selling units and making money hand over fist, with using modern day technology in the coolest way. You're combining them while teaching people through the process. So you're not gatekeeping.
Come on.
And you have partnered with a platform that is ahead of the curve and around the corner when it comes to blending these two worlds. Even, I'm talking about the man himself, LARUSSEL'S.
Yeah.
You are in the 414 getting ready to tear the stage down for the West Keaton Seeing Fest.
Yeah.
And you decided to stop by HYFIN to give us some jewels today. Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to take this approach. Is this something you do when you go to every town, or do you choose certain towns to kind of stop in and drop some jewels, feed the city before you leave?
We do it where it makes sense. You know, if I could do it everywhere, I would. But where, you know, some places the resources are just a bit more ample. You know, Mag being from Milwaukee, it was like this home. This is a perfect place to do it. So where we can, we always try to.
So let me ask you. You talked in the conversation a little bit about independent artists not feeling like they need to work. They feel like they can just put their content out or put their music out, and the world is supposed to clamor because they're talented. But you talked about how you schedule your workout, how you're constantly working and reaching your audience in a very personal way. If you see them on the street, you stop, you talk. Tell me why this approach has worked better for you than what you used to do prior to signing with Even.
This has always been my approach. Like, that's why Even was in alignment, and I was the perfect poster child, because it's like, if you're going to come to Even, this is the work you have to do. If you're not willing to do this kind of work, don't expect these kind of results. But this has always been me. You know, I used to go on runs with my pops when I was younger, when he was hustling, and I had to see the whole process in front of me. I had to help out. So me as an artist is just, I'm doing the same thing. You know, there's no difference now. I'm just a human. It's not even me acting as an artist. It's just me navigating my life as a human and having human experiences and interactions, and that's what cultivated what we built. We had we was in where was that? Texas, where we did like the Q&A thing before.
Dallas.
We was in Dallas, and the guy was like, "Man, I'm here off like the spirit. It ain't even the music that got me here." You know, like, that's the only way to cultivate that kind of base. Like, you have to be in the field. You can't get grass stains on your pants if you ain't in the field.
Yeah, you don't come
you ain't out there playing. You ain't even gonna get dirty.
Right. But it's not just you. It's Mag that you talked about, who's from Milwaukee and from Wisconsin. But it's also people like T, who you have as support group individuals, partners, family, to grow Even. T, why did you decide to come on board and be a part of creating this huge platform? What was it about the idea of Even that sold you?
Man, it was an alignment, for real. And it was artist driven. It wasn't about making money. It wasn't about, trying to create the next streaming platform. It was truly about supporting the artists and helping them build their business, which is exactly what we've been doing with LARUSSEL'S. So it was just like perfect alignment. And we were already selling our music direct. They gave us the infrastructure to do it on a much larger scale.
They made it sexy.
They made it sexy.
We was already out the trunk with it. But they just made it. We came together and just made it something that the world could now utilize. At first, it was just LARUSSEL doing it. Even provided us the infrastructure to allow everyone to do it.
And they care. Like, they deeply care. It's really, really about doing what's best. Not for Even and not for the artist, but for everyone, for the consumer and everyone involved. You don't meet people like that often. So when you do come across them, you figure out how to help.
This reminds me of back in the day when we used to put flyers on cars for like parties and doing these, opening up just to be a part of the show. You did things to promote yourself, but in a very different way. I heard you both talk about how you're taking artists and their music and their images from the phone to an in-person experience in a way that they're not used to or accustomed to. So if you're following me or you're purchasing my product, you're going to get something that's exclusive, but it's going to be personal. So it might even be a phone call or me pulling up on you because I see where you are. Who came up with the concept of getting so personal with your fans? Was it you, LaRussell, or was it UT saying, I don't want to just say, okay, you get first access to our concert tickets. I want it to be something more than that, because these are essentially extensions of my family. Our fan base is our family.
It wasn't a strategic concept. That's our life.
Right.
Like when we meet people when they show up to shows and it's like, oh, we fuck with you. Pull up to the crib after we finna be. That's our life. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a strategy thing like, oh, this is how you build fans. Like, this is us in real time. I might meet you somewhere. Man, we was in Seattle and we ran into an artist named Katil. And he was just like from the city, and he just had this energy, and I was like, man, pull up to our spot after.
We ran into somebody at the taco truck last night, and we gave him a ticket to the show today.
Yeah, this is our life. It ain't even no strategy. That's just how we are. That's how we show up in the world.
You need more people like that in the world.
I was gonna say
and the more that we exemplify it and that we are it, we're showing people how to be human again, how to be a good human.
And that's why I emphasize, you can't make that strategy. That's not real.
It has to be real.
And we see so many artists try to do what we've done, and it's like we could see that that's not real. You've never spoken to these people ever.
Right.
You can feel it.
It can't be your strategy and y'all having meetings and trying to say you can't do that for being a human. You, like I say, to cultivate community, you have to be in the community. You can't just show up with your flyer and be like, well, this is why the community. Man.
And it has to come from the heart. It really has to come from the heart. You got to do it because that's what you would do whether you were an artist trying to sell something or not. You're just a good person who does good things for anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's how it has to be.
So talk to me a little bit about you watching from the inside of Even, seeing what other artists are going through, because I know it's frustrating when you see these new artists come out and you're like, this is actually a legit artist. They have their social media, they're reaching out to people, they have everything together, but they're still thinking about or dreaming about being signed to a label that's going to strip them of the financial security that they could have if they were on this platform Even. And they're resistant to the concept of believing, what I would say is believing in their own talent, believing in their capabilities. They're resistant to coming over. What would you say to them?
I think that's the only people who have resistance are those who have that. They don't have full belief in their talent or their ability. And I think that's partially why you go to a label on most times, because you're like, I can't build what they can build, and that's your thing. And I think that still has its place. Even isn't for everyone. Even is for the people who are like, I want to take control of my kingdom and my art. And some artists don't care about their masters or any of, they just want to put things into the world and get known for it. And that's okay. So I think that the labels still have their place, because everyone doesn't want to do this amount of work. Some people just want to pool. Some people like, I'm willing to do what it takes to build a pool in my backyard, and I'm going to pull out the bulldozer and move some shovel. Everybody ain't doing that shit. Some niggas just want to sit on the chair and drink lemonade and hope, so it's like, it's something for everyone. But for the artists that really want to bet on themselves, man, it's a risk-free bet. And you can't lose.
Even gave that space that was non-existent prior, before you had to go to the label. And I think that that's really what that is too. It's like, people are so used to like, I'm an artist, I get signed, now I'm famous. And that was it. And if you didn't get signed, then you didn't make it.
They seen no other way prior.
But now we're giving them the opportunity to build something of their own and not have to give it away. Yeah. But before, that was the only way. You had to give it away if you wanted to get something in return.
It's really interesting. As a former hip-hop artist turned radio personality, I still cannot give up making my own content. I still can't. So I make content for the radio station, which is what I'm doing now. But I also have my interviews with people that I call the culture plug, right? Yeah. So I think even with even if you're doing something different, you could still be a family member at even.
Yep.
As long as you're producing something with the intent to take it from what people are listening to an actual personal interaction. And
if you have that desire.
If you have that desire, that's correct. So, for example, my desire is I partnered with a company and I do monthly events. Very interesting, curated events for people that look like us that don't have these experiences on a daily basis. So you might go there, take a couple, get really, really lifted and then do a sound bath so you can feel that. You know what I mean? Think in a very meditative way. So I'm saying you can take that membership on even and transition it into a real life experience where your family, your extended family that follows you on even can now have that personal interaction with you in life. LaRussell, tell me about some experiences that you've seen transition from even to a personal experience that have not been a concert. Just something else outside of that, because most people will say, oh, okay, if I listen to them on even, maybe I'll get, first stabs at a ticket, but it's still a concert. Is that really personal? And I'm sure you guys have things that are not music related that you share with fans.
Our concerts is a bit personal because you can't get in unless you get approved for it.
Period.
So, that makes it personal right there. There's no, there's nothing you can do to get in besides us saying we accept you into this space. Beyond that, we just had someone pull up who was like in the Bay and they like, oh, I want to get merch for this trip. I bought out and it's like, pull up to the spot. Phone call. It's just a variety,
merch, phone calls.
Man, it's
you
all...
do a doc too. You give out, it's a lot. It's a lot. But that's the greatest part about even too is like it's all up to the artist on how personal and what type of gift they want to give back to the people who supported them. So it comes in all types of forms.
I could see somebody saying, LaRussell, I'm a barber. Let me, LaRussell, I'm a tailor. Let me put you in the suits for the Grammys. I'm a sneaker maker. Yeah.
Design, we're
the door's always
open. Man, our door's always open. If we love it, it don't matter what channel it came through. It's open.
I love the idea of that, of people actually being able to touch you in different ways that work for you and work for them. And it's more of a collaboration. Like I said, a family versus a fan base. Yeah. And I think, I was interviewing Killer Mike and he said something that reminds me of you all. He said, I don't have fans because fans move off when you cool off. Ooh. I have supporters. And my supporters will see me at the Waffle House and say, hey, Mike, it's time for a new album. You know what I mean? They will constantly encourage you. And it feels like that's what you can do on even, too. You have that personal hand-to-hand conversation with artists. What was the most shocking thing about even for you, T? Was it the amount of money that artists can actually make? Was it how easy the platform is to use? What was the most shocking thing for you?
I think that it was getting paid daily. Like a lot of spaces will do like a 3-day hold or like a withdrawal fee. If you want to get paid the same day, we're going to take a percentage. But man, MAG just really, they just really thought of everything to make it easy on the artist and the consumer. It's like, you get to pay for this easily. Like you could do Cashapp, you could do credit card, you could do whatever you want. And then the artist gets to receive their funds for their art immediately. And the consumer too, they get to receive the art instantaneously and they can start streaming it and getting what they paid for.
LaRussell, talk to me about what it felt like when you got your first payment from even. I know you took a risk joining the family, but what did it feel like when you realized it actually worked?
It was no risk for me.
Zero.
Like I said, we was already selling music. We was already getting it out of chunks, so it was risk-free for me. But to use a new platform, it was actually, for us, it was like, fire. We told y'all. Right. You feel me? Because we were the ones going in saying, no, this is going to be this. Even MAG, they hadn't done that before. He didn't know what it was going to be. He was just trying to get, like I say, he's like, if I can get 100, and those 100 was low. It was nothing compared to what we did when we were like, no, when our base get this, we already knew. So for us, it was just like...
It was incredible. It was incredible.
What What is something that you are looking forward to launching on Even? Give me a mic drop moment. Is there something that you would love to see Even do?
Man, we're taking everything. The subscription was the big thing. This is the first time in history that an offer-based subscription exists. Like, there's no other service in the world where you could pay what you want to pay monthly for access to whatever someone's giving. So for us to just hit another historic milestone that I know is going to be just like LaRussell's first project on Even, you're going to have tons of artists who now get to have monthly revenue. Like, just so far, we just launched like last week, maybe a couple days ago, maybe less than a week, and we're already at 3K. And I was telling T the other day, I said, man, it's crazy because I look at that 3K, and my first I was like, damn, 3,000, and then I realized like that's monthly. So for the next year, I got $36,000 that I already know is coming in, and that's only going to grow. That never existed. Like, if that shit would have been, I would have. It's going to get to a point where I'll never have to go do a deal. We get to have different conversations. It's like, no, and it gave me another leverage point of selling. I can now go and say, oh yeah, I already got 36,000 coming in this month from just this. If you give me 72, I'll give you 50% of this each month, and as it grows, you're gonna end up with more.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, everything Even has given us every point of revenue we get to monetize it 2 or 3 different ways.
Damn, I'm in the wrong job. Right.
Got to start rapping again.
I know. But I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing interview podcasts. So there's something from the radio station, and then there's something for the culture plug.
Even here, you could bring it to Even.
Bro, it's like just start. If you got one person a month who say, I'll give you $5 a month, that's $60 a year that you didn't have.
Yeah.
Just $5. We let people choose whatever they want. Some people only pay the $1. Some people committed $100 a month. And that's a month until they decide they don't want to do it no more. So if we just go off and say they here for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Sheesh. What if I'm making $3,000 a month for the next 10 years? That's $360,000 off. That's already done. It only gets bigger, you know? So, man, the type of infrastructure that we built and provided to artists today, in today's time, you got to really not want it to not succeed. Right. You got to really not want it.
Right. You know what it feels like? It feels like you are connecting the world in a way that benefits the individual user and not these platforms that the users use. Yep. Because we all know, 401ks are kind of a safety net, but we're not guaranteed retirement. This is a way that you can't age out of this.
Yep.
When it comes to
you provide it,
if you keep giving,
as long as you cultivate community and giving to people who and serving your people, man, it's limitless. Like, I foresee a day where it's $1 million in monthly subscriptions, and it's just like, because we serve, I'm
gonna ask you a music related question. I have to. Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Lauryn Hill, Pac, Hove.
It's always that last one. It's always the last one.
What's my one more? 5 or 4?
It's 4.
4.
Lauryn Hill,
Ooh.
Pac, Cole. Who's the last one?
No, Pac, Hove.
Hove.
Yeah. Damn, that last one. Ye. Kanye
versus Ye.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to be clear. Those are 2 different people, right? I'm a Kanye fan. Kanye really did change how music was viewed in the Midwest. He just did. Everything. And I've always been a huge fan of Kanye. T, who's on your Mount Rushmore?
Oh wow, I've never answered this question before.
It's the culture plug. I gotta get the plug. Come on.
Lauryn Hill for sure. Erykah Badu. I'm not really big on hip hop like that. Damn. I ain't gonna lie. Throw y'all for a loop here.
Come with it.
Keisha Cole. I love me some Keisha Cole. Y'all gonna hate my Mount Rushmore.
Come on,
I'm gonna go with Drake. Cause
Drake.
he's classic. You
Classic.
you can turn on
Classic.
Drake at any given time and
Yeah.
It's a bop.
it's about.
Well, I like to thank y'all for coming.
Thank
And
you.
I like to thank you for being so open, because a lot of artists don't give out what they use or how they became successful, because they feel like it's only enough room for one and they have to be that one. But you've literally held your community's hand and walked them through how to become successful.
One of my biggest fears is being the only one. It's literally the opposite. Like, I don't want to be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just rather not.
And you're building the community in a way that allows people to sustain their art, their creativity, own themselves, and support the community as a whole, the Even family as a whole. So I thank you for that. And I thank you for your time.
Gratitude.
I'll see you tonight at West Kansas.
Yeah, 414.
Period. Thank you. Thank
That
you
was
for your
great.
time.
That
Yes.
was great.
That was a good time.